Somewhere around last week, I had run a little prompt on my Instagram, on my stories, where I had shared this image as part of a coffee ground reading exercise. Usually, we do coffee ground readings because it's a way to bring yourself back into the present. Traditionally, it was done to predict the future, but as a tarot reader, since I anyway use tarot cards to read more about our present, to understand more about ourselves instead of jumping straight to the future, I like to use any kind of signs and symbols that we come across in our day to day lives as part of understanding our own selves, our subconscious, our unconscious minds, because anything that we see and what we are able to make of it is actually just a reflection of ourselves. I'll be sharing the image again. Take a good look at it. You can leave your interpretation in the comments, or you can wait to see if any of the other interpretations match yours, so that you can then take my reading and apply it to your interpretation as well. And if it ends up being something completely different, drop it in the comments and I'll respond to that as soon as I can. With that, without further ado, I would like to get right into the interpretations of the same. I do want to say a lot of you guys had so many interesting answers, and some of you guys ended up matching each other's. So let's get right into it before the light disappears. The first one is dark pine trees, a water body, and distant trees fading away. This one highlights that someone is on their self-discovery journey and they realize that it's a very deep discovery, it's a very vast water body that they have to um, navigate. But while it can be a bit of an overwhelming thing, it's not entirely discouraging you. You are excited, you are curious to keep discovering yourself. The more you go, the more you move forward. Although there might be some confusion as to whether you're on the right track or not, but you're not letting that disturb you in any way. One more thing, that with the distant trees fading away, it just highlights that you are willing, and or maybe you have already left behind certain people, certain versions, certain narratives about you, about your life, and you are like more willing, even if the way ahead is kind of bleak, you are more willing to keep moving forward rather than settle for something that is familiar and uh, it's uncomfortable, but it's familiar. You're not for the familiar anymore. You're okay with moving forward. So yeah, keep going. The next one is two trees and earth, cloud with the wind. Okay. Two trees and earth, cloud with the wind. A significant other is on mind. Maybe you are dealing with another energy. Primarily, like a big part of your waking life, your conscious life is one other entity. Does not need to be a significant other. Could be just one other thing, or specifically one other aspect of yourself that you are trying to understand or relate with. There is also something extremely passing about it, so you are able to understand the transient nature of things, and you are maybe dealing with something unconventional. I feel if it is a relationship, it's unconventional in nature, and either way you are trying to understand how love can continue to bloom between two different entities like that, because there is still something very complementary about it. So yeah, ground yourself, because focus on the earth element more, and there is a certain transience that is making itself prominent, so go with that. Instead of thinking that everything has to be permanent or forever, move more towards the impermanent aspect of things. The next is a boat. Also, I see duck like cartoon, but with one open eye. I think you should express your creativity more than you are already doing, because your mind is able to function in a very vibrant manner. But I'm afraid, I feel like you're not doing much with it. Like it is asking you, it is kind of forcing you to talk more about it or express it in some way. You seem like someone who doodles a lot. I don't know. But if that is the case, you should do um, you should you should inspire others with the same, or like post about it or do something with it to be creative, because innately something is trying to spring out of you. You're only able to see one part of you. Like, you can understand, yeah, fine, I am creative, but this part of you is also asking you to be creative outwards, because one major element of being creative is letting it out into the world, breathing life into the creation. So yeah, and that can only happen when we unleash it, when we share it. I see a tree standing in a desert. Okay, you don't have to feel, I think you're feeling a bit by yourself, like you've somehow, I don't know if it is by will or you've been forced to isolate yourself. This is not so much as solitude, although I want to say, and I think you also want to term it more as solitude, but it feels more like isolation, necessary isolation, temporary isolation. um, you're feeling like a bit like you need to process a lot by yourself right now. I feel like you may have seen this while you were in conflict with something or someone, or you're trying to just understand the words, why is the world like this, is coming into my brain as I read this. But yeah, a tree standing in a desert, you do find yourself a bit like one man show kind of an energy, but you don't have to. The thing that needs to happen now is for sure process whatever it is that you need to process, but at the same time, remember that it is only in relation with others do we get to understand ourselves better and also the world better. So isolate as you need to, but don't let this be the entire premise of your personality, if that makes sense. You're not alone, basically. A lot of people feel the way you do. Maybe you are in the wrong room. Maybe it's just a time for you to reflect on how much you need to share, where you need to share, all of that before you move towards a better crowd or a better community or a better understanding of yourself. Next person says, a sailboat in sea. Well, you are in the middle of exploration. You are exploring something right now, and you feel like you're on the right track, definitely, with the exploration, whatever it is that you have embarked upon, this new journey, or it may have been a journey that's been on for a long time. You do find yourself in the middle of it, and you do feel like you've come a long ways, wherein you don't see where the destination is exactly, but you know you are on the right track. So there's not much that I want to say about this, except that you know who you are as a decision maker. Like, I don't think that's been a major point of conflict for you in life. It's not difficult for you to make a decision, is all I can say. Next is, I see a sail, a boat in steady calm waters. Now this person has clearly, they are done with the adventurous part of life. I think they've tasted much of life, and now they have somehow reached a point where their soul, their mind is kind of asking them to find home in their big and little routines. Somehow they don't want a lot of loudness in life anymore. They are ready to, I don't want to use the word settle down, but they are ready to like lay the foundation of something. They seem to have found, or they seem to have struck a certain part in themselves that they had been searching for a long time. Like, they went on this entire exploration, because we see a sail and a boat, but it's in calm, steady waters somehow, and that is because they are able to see, okay, I have a sense of direction now, and I know where I want to go, and I know it. Even if I don't know where I want to go, I know for a fact where I don't want to go and what I want to avoid. Even if it is saying in steady calm waters, I could somehow picture the boat at the harbor again. So even though they are kind of two different things, but because I got that image, I want to go ahead with the fact that, yeah, you are ready to lay down the foundation of the house, for instance. Wherever it's like you know for a fact, okay, this is where I am, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do, and yeah, you're done with being impulsive. Next is a black cat looking at a distance. You see, this is why I do this. This is why I put this prompt in the first place. Some people are seeing trees, some are seeing boats. This person is seeing a black cat of all things. And well, a black cat looking at a distance clearly suggests they are very much at ease with the mystic part of themselves. And they can see they are no longer wanting to unravel the mystery anymore. There is a mysticism around the black cat, and cats, when they stare at something, you just know that they have a different kind of conscience that is observing something beyond what we can understand. So this is that mystery, the mystic part of them that they are at ease with now. They don't want to know why and how anymore, because they know that it is for a reason. It will reveal itself when it is time, and that's why they are at ease with it. Just the way cats are very graceful in their ways, and a black cat especially, they can be extra mystic than your tabbies or orange ones. And yeah, a black cat looking at a distance is quite a quite an apt thing that this person is able to see for the kind of mind they have. Yeah, they're okay with the mystery, and they are at peace. They gracefully want to see. They are not bothered by the fact that it's going to take its time. They just know that something's happening, and they are happy to observe it. They are happy to be a part of the mystery, actually. That's what I want to say. Someone says bhalu sitting idly. Okay, bhalu is a bear. A bear sitting idly. Well, a lot of potential energy, very little faith in oneself. One has to get up and do something. I'm not saying that all of us need to abandon all kinds of rest and relaxation and just be on and at something. But this is not even that energy of procrastination, if you know what I mean. This is that energy of, because bears, they are known to hibernate, right? And bears can be very, we all know the Jungle Book, but I'm not saying that that's how all bears are, maybe. But bhalu sitting idly, this itself reveals that if you are seeing a bear sitting idly, it's just that he's very content with himself, right? But somehow I feel like one ought not to be that much at peace. This is not the ultimate symbol of contentment. This may be a bit of a symbol of I don't want to say sloth, but I do want to say there is something more in you that wants to happen. You are somehow not going with it due to whatever conditions you may have, whether it is family or friends or your internal pressure or internal boundaries, whatever. But yeah, if a bhalu is sitting idly, there is some kind of lack of inspiration happening that needs to be checked into. Another person says, looks like a sail on the boat. Some of these people I have already answered to personally, but I'll still answer it because I loved their interpretation just as much. So, looks like a sail on a boat. For this person, I had told them that there is a need for exploration. It is time to, something within them is asking to get out on the sea already, you know, and be there instead of dreaming about it, instead of imagining what that could be like. There's only one way to find out, to dive right in, to just go ahead, because they are good with the theory. I feel like they have been spending a long time on the theory, but the application of it, the practicality, is now demanding their presence, their energy, their participation. So it's time to set out. The ocean awaits, you know, an adventure awaits, an exploration awaits, and that can only happen when we step outside our comfort zone a little. So that's good. That's what I would have to say. For both people who are saying a sailing boat, there was another response for a sailing boat. So yeah, I'd say adventure is calling. You ought to be there, not here, right at the ocean. Now, of course not literally. This could mean anything that one has been sitting on, waiting on. Could be a business idea, could be a new hobby that you want to explore, could be a place you want to travel to, just anything that, a part of your personality that is calling out to you, you know. There's something, a purpose in our soul that is demanding our attention. Light is peeping into that corner. Let's just go out, you know, let it shine. The next person says, a scenery with pine trees at the back and one pine tree in the front next to a serene lake. I feel like you have a clarity as to where you are headed, and certain people are following you in that trail. You are gaining a newfound confidence in your leadership. I don't know if you are in leadership roles, or even if not, it's just something that you are gaining a newfound confidence in yourself. Maybe you have recently gained a good understanding, a good clarity of who you are, of your skills, of, well, I really don't need all this validation from others sort of thing. Like, I don't need to ask someone if this is good or not, because I know for a fact that it's amazing already. It's like, when we cook something and we cook it and we taste it and we just know it's bloody amazing. And it doesn't matter what someone says or doesn't, because we know for a fact that, okay, this, it's well made. Because the lake is serene and there is one pine tree in the front, which is you. I feel like you are able to be much more at peace with yourself, and people are taking note of that basically, and there is a certain inspiration being drawn because of your energy. Mr. Crow agrees. Okay, the next one is also quite interesting. Seems like a tree by the lake, except water is not transparent. This person is able to see that my understanding of myself is somewhere not entirely matching other people's understanding of me. That somewhere this person is able to see that, okay, there is a lot that I don't know about myself, and a lot that I don't agree with, that other people have been talking about me or telling me that, okay, you are like this, you are like that. And for this person, that's where they are. They've embarked on this journey officially. They may be doing certain things that are in line with this discovery, and that is why they are able to slowly uncover. It's still not entirely clear. It's obviously going to take its time. It's like they're doing an internal cleanup basically, and that is why the water, which seems not transparent, which means it's probably murky, is not able to reflect them back to themselves. But then it'll happen over time. The more you do the cleanup, the more you confront your unconfronted parts of you in your subconscious and unconscious, the clearer the water becomes. Next is, it's an incense dhoop batti. Let's just stick to incense. It highlights that they are transitioning or open to more spiritual parts of themselves, or they are surrendering to the spiritual flow of things. Basically, they are answering the call of the spirit more and more. They have recently stepped into their purpose. Because of that, the answer to one's purpose, that is one of the most spiritual things that we can do when we listen to our heart and we surrender to the call of the spirit. Like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to express myself in this life. So that's what it is. And also it highlights a deep need to ground oneself. So incense is one way that we get to ground ourselves, right? Because the moment we smell something, our senses are here, and the entire point of meditation is to keep your senses in one place. Like, that's one way you can describe it. A good way to awaken your intuition, because you are trying to be more intuitive, is to indulge in grounding practices, so that you are able to listen to yourself better, because that is how our intuition is constantly communicating with us. But if we are not calm enough, if we are not listening to it well enough, we may be able to confuse ourselves, and we may just skip the intuitive voice entirely. So indulge in grounding practices. Walk barefoot, go on walks without music, of course. Light incense, the good kind of incense, and meditate or breathe or be aware of your breath. Whatever it is that helps you center yourself, at least once a day, I would say. The next person says they see a leaf. Wow, a single leaf. You either consider yourself very transient in every person's life, or you are not giving yourself the kind of weightage you actually have. So you ought to find value in yourself without attaching it to someone else's approval of you. I'm sorry if it is coming off in a very strong way, but a leaf is a very small element in the larger scheme of things. Not that it's nothing good or bad. It's just whatever I sense first when I see this is what I'm able to deliver, because I think that that's the case. So yeah, dive deep within yourself to understand what your value is, and this evaluation should not depend on what good or bad someone has said about you. It should be based on how much we are willing to stand for ourselves, how much we are willing to lay our own boundaries for what we want to do and for what we don't want to do. That's the kind of evaluation that most of us need to do. So yeah, Give yourself more value than you are giving currently, and don't let others' approval of your actions dictate the rest of your life. If you are under any kind of pressure to do something right now, really ask yourself where this pressure is coming from. Even if it is coming internally, I want you to really question, is this internal pressure also an effect of external pressure or like societal pressures? Let it not be that. Next person says, landscape with a tree and peaceful sky with clouds. Well, don't you want to go out on a little travel? A little break is what your soul is demanding, I think. Landscape with a tree and a peaceful sky with clouds. Yeah. I, I can almost see you laying down in a meadow and just cloud watching. But I don't know if you allow yourself that much time to relax or to really be that way. I want you to also not look at this perfect idea of a vacation in order to take a break. If you are someone who is prone to working hard or being a workaholic, all that, take even 5 minutes in a day just to sit by yourself and be within your own energy. If that's because that itself could be a good way to reset yourself, to catch that little break, and while still feeding the idea or trying to manifest that vacation that you are dreaming of. I'm not saying reject that completely, but I'm saying you don't need to wait for that much time to take that vacation. Like, you can still allow yourself to catch a break once in a while. And I also want you to just really introduce an element of nature or outside in your daily life as a daily practice, not something that you do once a month. Try to make it more regular, whether it's going for a walk or sitting out in the sun with a book or a coffee or a tea, whatever it is that helps you return to yourself, to understand that, okay, life is not just about work and money. I'm able to see pine trees, a huge rock, and a muddy puddle. I feel like you are trying to offer yourself so much to the point that you have somehow forgotten whether this is what you wanted to do in the first place. There is an energy of offering yourself a bit too much, I want to say. Your creativity is demanding a little rest and a little revisiting. You need to check in with yourself. Is this really what you want to do? And if it is, then is this really how you want to do it? I feel like there is a redirection that is demanding your attention right now. Because right now where you are, you may find yourself at a bit of a burnout. If you really wish to continue with this path, you need to forget about this for a while and go out and do something else. Next person says they are seeing a diya, bati, and the rays. Wow. A diya is the little earth oil lamp. They are able to see the entirety of it, actually. So basically they are able to see a lit oil lamp. It's a very good expression of their creativity. That is also a very good call from their spirit about how there is a new light, there is a new spark, there is a newfound inspiration in a new direction that they have gained with what they were already good at, what they were already enjoying in, but they found a new way to experience it, a new way to experience themselves. And that is what it's like. They took a risk and it has been rewarding. That's what I'm receiving. And they trusted themselves with something irrespective of everything that everyone was saying. And they were like, no, I'm going to rely on this little light that I have, and it's rewarding them back by remaining alive, by remaining lit. And like that akhand jyot is what is coming in my head, the endless flame. So yeah, keep going. You are definitely on the right track, and this light is your light, basically, and you never know when it can turn into an amazing even more lamps or one big bonfire, a very nice one that provides not just a sense of direction for others, but also offers warmth to anyone and everyone who may wish to come. It's also a great symbol in of not just feeling inspired within yourself, but also inspiring others. So yeah, you're definitely offering a lot of hope and inspiration to every single person that is coming in touch with you. I know that for a fact. So this is in Hindi. दिस पर्सन सेज कॉफ़ी पीने के बाद थोड़ी बची हुई है एंड बेस में जो थोड़ी सेटल हुई है वही बस यही दिख रहा है मुझे. Okay, so they are just able to see that it's the coffee that has settled at the bottom after you are done drinking it. Very simple answer. You ought to be more creative. So you are too practical in life. If you're happy with that, great. I don't think you need to participate in this anymore. But yeah, if since you have participated, I want to say, be a bit more creative. Your brain needs more imagination. You need to indulge in that. Hang out with children if possible. That should help. Yeah, that'll deepen your spirit, it'll deepen your being, it'll deepen the love that you have to offer to others. Two people see only a boat. Okay, the ones who see a boat, I also want to point out, one person sees a boat for sure, one person sees a boat with a question mark. The interpretation for both of them is a bit similar but also has a slight difference. You're like a simple and a powerful vehicle actually. I think you have a niche of your own, and you do well with only certain kinds of people. Not everyone understands your speciality or the kind of subtle uniqueness that you carry within you, which is a good thing. But I want you to explore your own niche better, or to express yourself without feeling afraid. If that is what you want to do, I don't think you are afraid of expressing yourself. It's basically that if you are happy with the level of ambition that you have, good, follow your own instinct, don't listen to others, because people think you are too simplistic when that may not be the case. You have your own desires, you have your own ambitions that you want to tend to in your own way, at your own pace. So do it as you wish to. And the person who thinks it with a question mark, I think they they are happy to indulge in the exercise, but at the same time they are a bit nervous. There's a fear of certain of trying something new. I want to say that you are not very okay with exploring things in an unsafe manner, maybe. Like you're afraid that I might explore something but it can turn out to be a bit unsafe or not a good experience. But that's okay, you know. If as long as it's not unhealthy for you, you can consider trying out new foods. Many times we don't do it because we're like, oh, I'm not going to like it. Well, just try it, and if you still don't like it, it's okay, but just try it once, you know. That's what I want to say for the person who's saying it with a question mark. Don't be so afraid. Next person is saying it's a long tree in front of murky water. You are putting out a very interesting image of yourself in the world, but somehow you are not able to see yourself, and I feel like you ought to. Everyone really admires your spirit, that's for sure. Everyone enjoys the kind of person you are, but maybe somewhere deep down you are being called to dive deeper into your own self, to discover yourself a little more than I think you were part of this self-discovery earlier. But somewhere along the lines, because of, let's say, worldly responsibilities, it must have been left behind. But now that part of you is calling you. So a lot of reflection is waiting outside your door, asking to be entered, asking to be let in. I feel like you may have also had a very recent change of heart, and you want to explore that more within yourself. So yeah, it's a good call to do that if you wish to. Next person says a landscape and sunrise. Wow. A new beginning for sure. One that you are desiring, one that you have been craving for. If it is around the corner, nothing like it. There's not much that I need to say about this. If it is not, if you are still feeling like, okay, I need to start afresh, or I need to start with something new, I feel like you are a little bored where you are, and you would like to be somewhere else, or you would like to be doing something else, even just temporarily. But I don't think it's temporary in your case. I want to say that you really want to be somewhere else. It's like you're not happy with where you are working, maybe. And if it is a position that you can't leave, for instance, then in a temporary way you can consider bringing about a new beginning. So you can pick up a new hobby, give a certain amount of time that is just yours for just that activity that you want to do, that can be new. If it's some kind of business that you are running, then you some kind of rebranding is calling out to you. to introduce something new, to open doors for something new, newer people, newer places. I don't know, but something new is on the horizon for sure. You are being asked to expand in some way. A small boat and it's a sunset sky behind. Wow, wow, wow. I feel like everyone perceives this person in a very grand way. Like they think that, okay, yeah, they want to aim so high, they want to do so many great things. And this person does maybe want to explore themselves in that way. Creatively, of course, they have big dreams as well. At the same time, they have those dreams just to taste them. I feel like they don't want to live their life like that. And somehow this is making me think on those terms that end of the day, this is what I want to do. A small boat symbolizes that, you know, they want to lead a very simple kind of life, one that fits very few people, you know, and the few necessary ones, few good ones that they actually care about. And just that much is enough. And it's good to dabble into the world and play your games and be done with it, but at the end of the day, they want to come home to this small boat. This small boat is their home. The sunset behind them is what is bringing them actual creativity. Like they work so that they can relax, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's a good way to live. I think this is what you've understood about yourself very recently, or maybe this year you've decided. Around this time when you gave this interpretation, I think around this time your mind has started to give you hints about, okay, this is the kind of work that we want to do, where we still have our freedom, where our values are not being, you know, trampled over, and we still get to uphold what we are doing, why we are doing it, and at the end of the day we get to come home at a reasonable hour, kind of thing. And that's it. I'm very happy to say that I did not expect so many responses. I'll be sharing more of such images on my story on Instagram, and we'll be sharing the interpretations of the same as a YouTube video. And I want to encourage you guys to be noticing not just these images that I share, but these signs and symbols that are everywhere around us, because it is one way of seeing something. And at first glance, when our mind comes up with a certain interpretation of that, I want to say that it's our intuition trying to get in touch with us, because intuition works beyond logic. It is not tied with anxiety. It is something very clear that speaks to us in statements, you know, and it makes us more present. And so if we are looking around us, if we encourage our mind to keep taking note of these shapes and figures, even just for fun, we will soon develop the nerve that learns to look at an environment very clearly and pick up on any subtle energies or signals that may be a little off, you know, with people or with new places. And then we are able to navigate our lives better. Then we end up making safer decisions in life and save us the trouble of pain or sorrow or any kind of inconvenience that is not necessary for us. So yeah, that's all I have for you for this video. I'm very glad if you stuck around till the end of it. I hope my interpretations resonated with you, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.